I'm at Summit 4x4 Company, picking up Orangie in Prescott, Arizona. It's Monday around midday. And unfortunately, really poor timing, it coincided with a snowstorm that's passing through the area. My plan was to get back into the Jeep and head straight off into the backcountry, but that's not happening quite yet. I'm gonna stay in town one more night, settle into the Jeep, figure out a game plan, and probably hit the road tomorrow. The clouds parted and the sun came out this afternoon for about 45 minutes, but it's not going to last. The snow's supposed to pick up again through the night. It's one of those nights where there are no good places to pop the camper, but as it happens, there are also no bad places when it snows like this. So tonight, I'm going to spend the night right outside of Summit's Adventure Center here in Prescott. I need to take the time to settle back into the Jeep anyway. It's a mess in here. All of my gear is displaced, and I don't even know what I have in terms of groceries. Alright, what did Summit do to the Jeep over the holidays? Installed an Evo Manufacturing No Limits On-Demand sway bar disconnect system. That is a pneumatic sway bar actuator for the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon sway bar assembly. It replaces the factory electronic actuator, which is costly and very prone to failure. They replaced my rear brake rotors. They swapped out my factory head unit with an identical factory head unit that works. The steering stabilizer had a dead spot in it, so they replaced that. They adjusted the front track bar, and they also replaced the passenger side front power window motor. It's starting to feel a little bit more like home in here. I was debating whether or not to run the Webasto gasoline heater tonight. I'm at 5,300 feet, and it's proven to be very altitude sensitive, so I've been reluctant to run it over 5,000 feet. What's 300 feet, right? And if there's a time to run the heater all night, it's during a winter storm. Tuesday morning, my heater worked all night and I've been completely comfortable in here despite the snowstorm that's going on outside. I might be getting a new set of tires today. I was having them shipped to Summit here in Prescott, Arizona, but the weather has complicated matters, so I don't know if they're going to show up or not. I'm going to have to figure that out and decide if I'm going to stick around and wait, or if I'm going to head out and come back at another time.
I guess check at the
compressor.
And that is the new line for the sway bar disconnect actuator.
Aha!
Found it.
That'll do. No bubbles.
Yesterday when I was playing with my new sway bar disconnect system, I noticed that the air compressor was cycling every couple minutes. And this was without using it, without any tools attached. And when that happens, that usually means that there is a leak in a fitting or an airline. So this morning before I left Summit, I asked the guys to take a look at it. And sure enough, they found one of the old fittings, not the new fittings related to the sway bar disconnect system, just an old fitting from the original air compressor installed was indeed leaking a good bit. It took them about 15 minutes to fix it up, and now I'm good to go. About 45 minutes south of Prescott, all snow accumulation disappeared as I descended into the valley toward Phoenix. 2 feet of snow, and just a short drive away there's nothing. So I stopped at the grocery store, I restocked the Jeep, and now I'm heading into the desert to the west. Gonna do some exploring. beautiful morning. It's supposed to be crystal clear today, which I'm looking forward to because the last few days with the snow, pretty intense. I am in my happy place. I can't tell you how good it feels to be back out here. I found this great spot to spend the night along an old stage road in the desert outside of Wickenburg, Arizona. It is profoundly peaceful here, and it is a very private setting. There were a number of RVs camped just off the blacktop, but I am several miles into the desert. The trek got fairly primitive and rough, and I don't think very many people are coming back here. The Jeep feels great. It's not squeaking, creaking, or rattling. It feels really solid, and Summit did a great job getting it back into shape. I'm still getting accustomed to the pneumatic sway bar actuator. This is the first time that I've had it out in the field, but it is definitely working, and working well. The Evo Manufacturing No Limits On-Demand Pneumatic Sway Bar Actuator. It replaces the troublesome Smart Bar actuator from the factory and bolts onto the Wrangler Rubicon sway bar assembly. Like the factory sway bar disconnect, it's operated via a switch on the dashboard. But instead, it's controlled by this air line which ties in with my air compressor under my hood, as opposed to having a bunch of complicated electronics down here susceptible to the elements. At first glance, I'm pleased with how simple and how elegant it is, and the airline is tucked up nicely above this front cross member, so I think it's unlikely that it'll get snagged on a branch and ripped off. Of course, it's always possible. From what I can tell, without reading the instructions, I didn't read the instructions, you don't need to have the air compressor on to operate the pneumatic sway bar actuator, as long as there's enough air pressure in the airline to engage the unit. And it seems to last for about 6 cycles before the air compressor kicks on. But for the most part, I can leave the air compressor off while operating this thing. There's some cow patties here, but I think I found where I'm going to spend the night. As long as the wind stays down, this is epic. It's Thursday morning and I had a great night's sleep on top of the mountain. The sun isn't out today. There's some blue sky up there, but I think it's going to be mainly overcast. After breakfast and coffee, I'm going to break camp and start making my way back to pavement. I need to circle back to Prescott, Arizona, because I have an appointment to get new tires at Summit tomorrow. I'll be getting another set of BF Goodrich All-Terrain KO2s, which is the same tire that I've been running for the past 4 years now, and I have no plans to switch to anything else. This tire has been treating me very well. If you're exploring the Arizona backcountry, there are a lot of national forests. There's also a lot of BLM land. You also encounter state trust land, which is land that is mostly undeveloped. It's owned by Arizona, and it's scattered all throughout the state. In most cases, you are able to use this land just like you're able to use public land, but you do need a permit. If you're doing a good amount of exploring in Arizona, you will encounter state trust land. And sometimes it's marked, sometimes it's not. So it's up to you to have the map data that shows when you're on a state parcel and when you're not. If you have a premium Gaia GPS subscription, the public land overlay does show when you're on the state trust land very clearly. It's indicated with a light purple colored tint, and as you can see, it's all scattered throughout the BLM land, which is indicated with a light yellow tint. Fortunately, permits are very inexpensive and easy to get. I got this online back last April, and this is an individual permit. It costs $15, and it's valid for an entire year. So I just carry this along with me as I wander throughout the backcountry, and I'm good to go. You can get a permit on the Arizona State Land Department website, and through my research I also found a blog post on azbackroads.com that was very helpful to me in the context of backcountry exploration on Arizona State Trust land. It's 4 p.m. and I'm back in snowy Prescott, Arizona. I just got finished dropping the Jeep back off at Summit for a new set of BF Goodrich all-terrains. It felt so good to be back in the Jeep this week, and I was thrilled that I was actually able to find dry terrain, get out of the snow. Not that I mind a little bit of snow wheeling or camping, but after my experiences being snowbound in Montana this past year, I think I have a healthy fear of solo travel on the white stuff. I'm going to call that a wrap for the week, but first I want to thank everyone who swung by Summit and left a message or a small token of your appreciation in Orangie over the holidays. I love this stuff, and hearing from you and how you enjoy watching Venture Forward is really what keeps me going more than anything. So please don't hesitate to pull me aside if you see me or the Jeep out in the wild. I'd love to meet up with you. As usual, thanks for following along, and remember, adventure is afoot.